It is showtime. Boy, oh boy. It's Monday morning. Monday morning is when I debut um, my stuff on Blue Boy Brown. It is showtime. Boy. Oh, God help me. It's Monday morning. Monday morning is when I debut. I just turned. Oh, it's over here. What am I doing? Is this it? Okay. Jiminy Cricket. Okay. I monitor this thing on. Yeah. I monitor this thing on a couple of devices, which sometimes are a major pain in the butt. Yeah, thank you. Is that what I wanted? No, probably not. There. So, welcome. This is the morning Monday mornings I debut. Hold on a second. Typical of me. Anyway. And of course, what the hell happened? Well, I'll be back in a second. Sheesh. Well, yeah, there you go. I have to remount my exterior hard drive. How you guys doing, bud? Well, I'll tell you what I'll do while this is going on. While I'm mounting my external hard drive, I'll show you what's on the website this what's on the website this week. And I'll probably have to diminish the size of that. There. Not that small. Son of a gun. Maybe just bring it up like that. That'll help. Yeah. That's first page that debuts this week. It's page 71. And that's after Blue Boy has a little meltdown. And this is the next page that debuts. And it's called Sniff Sniff. And it's the last page of the week. And it's called What Kind of Man Are You? And, you just go read it, okay? You'll find out what kind of man Blue Boy is. So it's coming along. And I just get my dadgum Photoshop to open up again. They're giving me a hard time. Gee. Oh, well. It's part of living in the digital world. Maybe I'll get myself a newer iMac and we'll have it a little bit better. set up for external hard drives. You just about can't get away from having an external hard drive. When you have an older laptop, the hard drive's just not big enough to handle all the stuff you want to do. So I've got Photoshop over on an external hard drive, a 6 gigabyte, terabyte hard drive. It's real nice to have all that space, but lately it's been crashing at the most inopportune times. Oh well, I'll live. So this is what's going on right now. And and I'm kind of having fun. I'm a week ahead. This is page 73. We're gonna color page 77 today, so I'm a week ahead. Let me see, 73, 74, 75, 76. Yeah, I got a week ahead. And so then I'm going to try to get another week ahead this week. Maybe I get 2 weeks ahead. That'd be great. Now, be nice to me, Odobi. You know how much we love you. I heard somebody said on a comics discussion board that Photoshop was crap. And where do they get that stuff? I can't help it, but I love Photoshop. That's let me see. It's page 77. There you go, 77. Page 77 is what we're going to do today. And Ruben Puccinelli, if you show up, I looked up your photo in the yearbook, and now I have a face to put with this because I've said so many thousands. It was over 11 years ago that you graduated, but I looked you up in your junior. I remember you very well. Quiet, soft-spoken young man, and you have really blossomed. So good for you, bud. I'm really proud of you. So when you show up, I'll say this again. So now, then 78, we're going to do that this week also. So might as well give you a rundown of what we're going to do this week. This is page 78. Page 78, which all this up here will be full of narrator stuff. And all this down here will just be, straight comics. Okay. So and I'll tell you that I used as my model for this. I don't do this, but I got into this deal where I was looking through ArtStore, which is a database that my college subscribes to, and I was looking at Russian paintings, and there was this one Russian painting. I said, man, it's just too cool. And so I decided to use it to kind of inform this one little panel that I wanted to do of these guys sitting around and not paying attention to the fact that somebody just got murdered. And so I just said, okay, I'm going to use that. I don't do that. All this stuff is original, and I like this hand and everything. These are good. Anyway. Then page 79. 79, I'm redoing. Page 79. Page 79 scan. Actually, I have it somewhere. Where do I have page 79? Well, anyway, here's the scan of page 79. I'm redoing it. I've already got it figured out. It's gonna be based on this drawing. Sometime when I decided I didn't like page 79. So this is Blue Boy, and I got to change it a little bit because he doesn't have hairy arms. Not yet. He's only 12 years old. And so I got to do that. It'll be based on that. That's what I'm doing this week. So, yeah, we're back to, okay, let me look at 76 because I like to open up the page just before it so I don't vary too much in color. Oh, this is an outside thing. He's been dismissed by the sheriff. The sheriff said, okay, you can go. Okay. So now I got to get onto this. So, well, this is pants, so just do his pants right now. Take away that. That way I get an accurate one of that. 77. Go to 77. So, but before we do that, let me see. I got to make sure that I've got my okay. My watercolor textures in there. My color is my color. Yeah, I don't want it to be normal. I want it to be multiply. I got 2 watercolor. Okay. And this obviously is nothing. I'm going to call this color 2 just in case I want to use a spot color. And then shadows is also normal. That's not good. I want to be multiply. Okay, I've got everything going okay. So now I got to lay in my lightest values. So I'm going to use my dodge tool, and he's just coming out of the old sun in his face, I suppose. Maybe about like that. Da, 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 da. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit like that. Da, da, da. And then, okay, and we'll give him a. And there's his brother Joby. And there's Paul. Been waiting outside. Remember, he said, I'll meet you outside. Yeah, redo that. Joby's, we're introducing the idea that Joby's sort of a taciturn individual. Doesn't show his emotions too much. So there's Joby and a little bit of the sun shining on him like that. And there's all his co-workers kind of just sitting around. They were told to go back to work. Nobody paying attention. Only Blue Boy went back to work. He's used to following orders. And there's old good Joby's face, and we'll see how we deal with all that. I don't like that. Yeah. Oh. Anyway. We do it like that. Okay. It shouldn't be too difficult to color let me see, on the outside of this is going to be just let me see, a 40, 40, 40, and then nothing there. And so let's make it a tiny bit cool. We'll make this 35, and it's a little cooler. Maybe this 45, and maybe that'll make it a little cooler. Yeah, I want it to be a little cooler. Okay, we'll use that for the background color of that jack. Boy, it's crawling today, isn't it, boy? Don't crawl on me, bud. Let me see. Let me close Spotify. It's always open. Crappy. Yeah, close that. Less windows I have open, the better. That Firefox open, I need to get rid of that. Okay. So I have a planned launch. I haven't really started it yet, but I got a month to figure it out. A planned launch for about July 15th for a Kickstarter campaign. But you guys can get a print version of this. And depending upon the success of the print Kickstarter campaign, it'll be either 28-page first issue, a 56 or 60-page first issue, or an 88-page, probably an 88-page first issue. Just depends on if I meet all my goals. If I meet the highest goal possible, then I'll do pretty much half the book for my first issue. And then the second book will be about 66 pages. So I go to about 82, and it's about 148, and it's about 68 pages. I mean, about a 72-page second issue. So that's real close to an 80-something page. And then that'll complete the first book of the trilogy. And it'd be cool to have all this out before the end of the year. That'd be outrageous. And then in the fall, what I'd do is I'd be working on the script for the second book. I've got the book written, but I don't have the script necessarily done because I want to kind of wanted whatever I experience in this book to tell me how to do the script for the second book. Because I've done some rewriting and moving a few things around, created some new situations that I didn't see when I first started this project. Characters, if they're decent characters, I hope that Blue Boy and Joby and Grandpa and Paul and Catherine and the twins and Willard and Billy and Clifford Wayne Earp and Leroy DeHammer and all those other guys are characters that you sink your teeth into. And now you'll want to see what the heck really happens to them. Because all of this is just this sets up the big story. There's a big story here. No, just setting up this big story. So I'm trying my dead level best to create a really strong fictional environment in which you really can dive into this and get your feet wet and kind of enjoy all of the goings on. Now I'm going to bring this down. So I'm going to make this 52, 52, 52. And okay, so we have to make this like 60. Yeah, and that'll make it a little more neutral. Yeah, that's what I want to put back here. So it's darker than that green over there. I can also play around with it. Let's see. Yeah, that's working out okay. I kind of wanted to use this to accentuate those two fellers so that I don't have to worry about you actually having to find them. Okay, we're done. And then that's kind of sloppy, but no, I can fix that in a few minutes. I can get this done. And I'll work on that doorway so it looks like the light is coming in. It's not just a membrane with la 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 la. Okay. And then as I remember the color, I don't have that. It's sort of like this color. Okay. Yeah, it's that color. So we that color. Like that. And then there's this whole thing here where everything's sort of like, this is really the heart of the winter. February is just about as where winter is starting to feel crummy. It's not January. January is horrible. So I moved to the eastern seaboard and don't experience winter anymore. Man, times I've been in the Midwest in January were rough. Woo! Talk about cold. Dang. If anybody gets by, I don't remember how I ever get by. Dang. To grow up in that. Of course, I had coats. I have some coats for when it gets down into the, occasionally get down in the 40s, maybe the 30s here, but I had this like 3 days a year. So I don't have much need for outerwear. I'll get up there. And we can do this here too. Boy, I probably just need to enlarge this so my old eyes don't give out on me. You see all this? that's done with a mechanical pencil. I dig that. And I get all that with a mechanical pencil. No, I used to draw with Crow Quill pens and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. You can get some really cool lines out of a Crow Quill pen. But I have 9 of these books to do. 9. So I just cannot spend a whole lot of time that could be used on other things doing real careful Crow Quill pen drawings when there are digital versions of it that work just as well. And my main goal is creating something that goes to print, and that's where I'm coming from. It'll go to print. So this is what we're doing here. And then I think I'll use that for this over here. Now, it is my contention that if you want to write with any form of authenticity, write about those things that you know, things that you have some familiarity with, and that have impacted you. So this is my this little thing right here is very similar. I've never seen a murder, thank God. I've seen people. I've been with people when they died, because I put myself through undergraduate school as a orderly, taking care of old people and sick people, and cancer patients, things like that. I've been with people when they died, and it's, when a person dies, it's their natural time. It's not horrible. The thing to do, especially I'll never forget this old lady who went through life very, very wealthy, very, very wealthy, owned a clothing store in my old hometown. Everybody, all the women went to this clothing store, and tough old cookie. But in the end, she's alone. She had nobody. And if it hadn't been for us, people who worked and took care of her, she'd have died that night by herself, but she did not. So, death is not the most horrible thing that ever happened to somebody, because I don't believe that's the end. But you should not let somebody die alone. Anyway, I said I've never seen anybody murdered. So I've never seen anybody murdered. And I don't particularly want to see anybody murdered. Obviously, lately I've seen somebody murdered on video, but that's a whole lot different than actually being there. So my way I'm using this is, it's about the first time I ever saw real poverty. Real poverty. And I know a lot about Arkansas. Arkansas is full of poor people. But when I first saw real poverty, it was in Mississippi, and I could not understand it. That's 10 years old. And it was 1963, and if you know your history, you know there's all types of stuff going on in 1963. So it took a while for it to percolate and me to understand what's going on. But anyway, that's where I'm coming from with poor old Blue Boy here. He's seen something worse than what I experienced, but it all blends into the culture he was brought up in a pacifist culture. His old grandpa may have been shunned by the Mennonites because he went off to Civil War, but he's still a member of that culture. So, old Blue Boy's having a tough time. Not affecting old Joby as much, you can see. He's just like, Grr. And that's because two people can grow up in the same family, have very similar experiences, and be as close as two people can possibly be, and be two totally different people, totally different reactions to the world. Which is kind of it, when you realize that, it just kind of, how could that be? That's the way it is. And it's nothing to get all upset about. People are people, and I'm gonna have to play around with that, guys. Some of the flesh tones here, because they're a little too. Okay, so we got my flesh tones. I need a little smaller brush here. Let me see. Is that it? I don't know about that. I think I can fix that. Yeah, I just fix that by figuring out, okay. A little more like that. A little more like that. And get rid of the black, and yeah, a little more like that. I got rid of that little bleed through there. Got that one too. Look what I did over there, dang. Oh well. Ah, get older when you grab onto these styluses or a pen or a pencil, something like that. Sometimes the old, I don't have real bad arthritis, but it's a little tiny bit. Tiny bit, your hands kind of seize up on you, get a little bit numb and everything. You have to shake them out. Fortunately, I just saw I saw, God, maybe I saw it in an advertisement. Yeah, that there's a gel that I used to have to get a prescription for called Voltaren that is now over the counter. Oh, same formula as the prescription. It's like it's a um, it's an anti-inflammation gel that works amazingly good. It just, I use it when my back goes out on me, sticking on my back, and it doesn't take long for it to fix it. It used to come out as a tablet, and you can still get it as a tablet, but it really tears up your intestines. You just like better stay close to the bathroom. So I don't take that junk unless it's some kind of emergency. But the gel's cool. That's one of the best anti-inflammatory things I've ever seen. First time I ever took it, I had gone to Disney World with my wife and her nephew. I stood in one of those 45-minute lines for some ride that I wouldn't get on in a million years now. And my back went out on me like nobody's business, and I was 200 miles away from home. And by the time I got back, I was bedridden for several days. And my doctor said, "Take this." I took it, and I was up in a couple of days. Whew. So it changed my life. Still can't play golf, though. Can't get into that torque that your spine goes through. Just can't do it. I don't even want to think about it. I wouldn't even try it. My age, and you had my kind of injuries, you just, you know, you have to give up golf. I haven't played golf since I was undergraduate school. You can't play golf and go to school. Just no way. Golf takes up way too much time. You sure do like to watch it. It's nice to have the live golf back on television. Shame the crowds can't be there. I'm sure they'll come back. If we can have the 1969 Masters tournament the middle of the Hong Kong flu epidemic. We can come back from this. We can have the 1969 Super Bowl where the Jets won against the Colts in the middle of the Hong Kong flu epidemic. We can come back from this. Everything will be all right. We got through that. Especially since, well, I read that the World Health Organization says that asymptomatic people do not, rarely transmit the virus. So that means we can have school. We'll probably be back face to face in the fall. We'll see how that goes. I'm not in charge, and they have more access to information than I do. So I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, we're getting to this point. Who knows how far we'll get today? I'll be going 42 minutes, and part of that I had to reboot Photoshop, and wow. So I'll be doing my Kickstarter campaign probably in the middle of July. For that, I'm going to have a friend in Europe who has a Kickstarter campaign he's starting sometime this month. I think we're going to have all the creators of that comic, because quite a few of them. He's the writer, and he's got a bunch of artists, and a lot of cool artists have done like variant covers for him. And might just have as many people as we can fit onto I can have 6 people in this environment. And so that's a decent number of people. And then we just talk about his comics. Okay, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Then we got the fingers. La 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 la. I got everything done for this book except the coloring and there we go. Oh, here's that thumb there. Except the coloring. And I think I'm evolving as a colorist. I don't think I can be a professional colorist. I don't think I'd want to be. I'm not the kind of person who can do that kind of stuff. But I think I'm becoming a little bit better colorist. That experience I have had as a painter It's helped teaching color theory and junk like that. It helps a lot. Like that. Shoot the edges here first. Be a little more careful, Dave. Okay. If you don't lift the pen, you can get a fairly flat application of this color, which I kind of want to do for this first little thing right here. There. Let's see if I can do there. So it's Monday morning, dang. Major League Baseball keeps getting delayed. Players won't agree to a revised contract. Oh well. If you're a Marlins fan, I'm sort of like I have a sort of thing where I'm a Marlins fan when the Royals and the Cardinals aren't doing very well. And so for a long time, the Royals and Cardinals weren't doing very well. So, hey, might as well be a Marlins fan. And one of our high school graduates from 92 or 93 was a great baseball player, Mike Lowell. He was both the Marlins and he was the most valuable player in one of the World Series that the Red Sox won. Like a really good baseball player. So he graduated from school I taught at for years. Graduated in 92, I believe. So every time the Marlins would win, and it's a crazy thing. Such a young team would win the World Series twice in a space of like 5 years, space of 6 years. They'd win the World Series twice with two different teams, two really different teams. Because every time the dadgum Marlins win, big time, the owners would sell everybody, would trade away everybody in the whole franchise. They just trade them all away. Why would they? Why would you do that? Why didn't we just build a team that win consistently over the next several years and see if you could create some baseball history? Bunch of dummies. I don't know what the heck they were doing. If you're going to be a multi-millionaire, billionaire, anything like that, and you invest in a team, why don't you do it the right way? Do it for the long term, not just I won a World Series and that's all I wanted to do, and now I'm going to sell the dang thing. But you know, there's fans out there got nothing going on except watching baseball. Oh boy. And it just ticked me off that everybody that was with the Royals when they won their championship. Maybe they won it twice. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't got the stats in front of me. I think it won twice. And then everybody just signed these free agent contracts and they just left. Oh. I've always thought, doesn't it make more sense? You're a big deal in a small, this is my tone, okay. You're a big deal in a small baseball market, but there is life after baseball. And you could start a business after baseball and be wildly successful in a town that loves you instead of going off for short term gain. Because if you live to be in your 70s, you'll be glad you started a business that your family could inherit and everything like that, and go off someplace and prettier way. Yeah, that's just because I wish they had done that. Okay, now, shoo. Now we got this color, which is going to be in that area right around there. I want to get that. I don't like black too much. Maybe bring it over here. I'm just kind of eyeballing this because I'm going to color pause. I didn't do that right, did I? Got a color pause jacket. That's probably the wrong color. It's a little too sky blue. It needs to have some green in it. It's a little blue greenish, more like that. Yeah, that's the color they had. Needy. Okay, maybe I could just blend those all together. Just do an optical mixing thing there. Okay, now Joby. Joby has sandy colored hair. It's sort of like between paw and paw's coloring and as I remember it, right about there. Why don't I open up? Where was the last time we saw Joby? I wonder, when did I last see Joby? Hey, look. I'm not going to worry about it. I can always change it later. Right about there. Now, I will admit, you might say, Joby, what kind of name is that? Occasionally, I use somebody's name that actually had that name. And since this guy is, this guy, Joby, is real heavily connected to me, I can use his name if I want to. With my grandpa's name. I use a couple of my grandparents' names in this, like Catherine. That's my great grandmother's name, but I love the name Catherine so much. I couldn't help it. I had to use the name Catherine because it is such a beautiful name. I just love it. I just love the name Catherine. I just don't think there's too many names that women can be named that are as gorgeous as that name. Just a lovely, lovely name. I think Henry VIII's two of his wives